From Wana Brands, welcome to Enhance Your Life. I'm your host, Jonathan Small, and each week I talk to people from all sorts of professions and backgrounds about how cannabis has enhanced their lives and how this healing plant can enrich your life too. Hey everybody, welcome to the Enhance Your Life podcast. My name is John Small and I am your host. Very excited about our guest today. Sammie Rogers Jr. is joining us, and he is the Chief Executive Officer and the President and owner of Higher Learning Institutions, which is based in Pontiac, Michigan. And Higher Learning Institutions' goal is to provide training opportunities to low-income individuals who would otherwise have no access to positions in the cannabis industry. Sammie has been recognized by the marquee's who's who of top executives for his dedication and his achievements and his leadership in the cannabis industry, and he has received a number of accolades from lawmakers and community leaders. Sammie, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, John. Appreciate it.
First of all, tell us what Higher Learning is.
We are a technical and vocational school. We were created to basically provide training or workforce development in inner cities. Oftentimes, we see companies come into these cities with little to no workforce development programs. And some of the excuses that I used to see coming up was we can't hire anybody here because they don't have the skills or the training to do certain jobs. So having that in the back of my mind as I grew up, it made me think of something to do as I got older. And it actually started with me being a consultant. I used to go around and help caregivers build out their grows in their basements and garages. And I had a friend of mine who took a course at Amsterdam. And I was watching him take this online course, and I seen how much he paid for it. And I'm like, all you getting is a certificate for this? And he was like, yeah. I'm like, man, I could do this. So I took everything that I knew and I decided to turn it into a school. And it was crazy because it took me 7 years to plan this all, almost 7 years, because I started off as a consultant. And then in 2017, I really took the idea of starting a school serious. I had to learn how to write a curriculum. So I was online every day learning how to write a curriculum. And then I had to learn how to structure everything, how the classroom settings should be, and all of this jazz, and homework assignments and quizzes and tests. And man, it was some hours I put in before I officially even filed the name Higher Learning.
Mm-hmm.
So one day, me and my wife was just laying in the bed, and we were trying to think of a name for the school. And I kept this thing, like, I kept bumping my head against, I just went blank.
Yeah.
And we were watching the movie Higher Learning. And my wife was like, why not Higher Learning?
Yeah.
I just looked at her, gave her a big old kiss, and boom, that's where it was. And boom, Higher Learning was born, filed the name. We opened our doors in February of 2020. And then March hit, and then boom, the world shut down.
Yeah.
But that didn't shut us down, and here we are. We still managed to operate online and did a slow roll back open to the public, and we're here.
So Higher Learning is an actual brick and mortar school that you can go to.
Brick and mortar.
Nice.
Brick and mortar. We're one of the few schools that I know of that you're actually growing cannabis in the school. We're not growing hemp. We're physically growing cannabis. So there's no questions of how do I do this? How do I do that? I've had students have to battle with spider mites in the school. They have to experience powdery mildew. I let a student bring a plant in and had powdery mildew. And they say, a powdery mildew outbreak broke out into the school, and we have to clean all of that up. So they got to battle, and they had to have real life battles before they go back into their own grows. I've had people come in that was probably harvesting maybe 1 ounce of plant to where now they're hitting 7 to 8 ounces of plant, and they're happy because these are for their personal grows.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you're really coming in, you're growing cannabis yourself. You get to travel to different facilities. We have a connection with Terrapin Care Station where we get to take our students there to their facility. So they get to see a real commercial grow facility and processing facility.
Wow. That's amazing. So what are the courses? Yeah. What are the courses that you guys offer?
So we offer our number one course that we offer, which is our best-selling course, which is our cultivation course. That's where you're coming in, you're learning how to grow cannabis for 8 weeks. We have plants at different stages. You're coming in, you're propagating seeds, or you're cutting clones, but we also have plants that are already in veg, or we have plants that are coming out of flower soon. So you get to see all stages of cannabis within those 8 weeks. Our next class that we offer is our Cannabis Consultation class, which was formerly our Provision Center course. But we figured that it'd be best if we called it the Cannabis Consultation class because We have students who are caregivers as well, and caregivers need to be consultants as well. So we just called it the Cannabis consultation class to call it a day. And that class basically gives you a more insight on how to handle patients and customers alike. So it gives you the skill sets to either work in a dispensary, or if you are looking to be a caregiver and you're looking to grow for patients, you can understand what to grow for your patients and how to effectively communicate with them. So you're not just giving them any old thing. And then another course that we offer is our processing course or our extraction course, where we literally have extraction equipment. We have small scale extraction equipment, and you're taking our trim or our whole flower and you're extracting, making some bubble hash. We have a bubble hash machine there. We have an oil machine we use. And yeah, these are the things that we have within the school that you get to do firsthand. Teach you how we have a convectional oven where those who want to make anything. So we have a few tools there that allows them to do that. And then we also take our field trips to the commercial facilities. And the last class that we're about to roll out is our compliance class. And that's just your state compliance stuff that staying compliant for business owners, staff workers, and things of that nature. That'll be online only.
And so do people take all the classes, or do they just come in and take one class and then they're out? Or you can do both?
We have quite a few people that actually take all three of our main classes. Those are the individuals who want to have a micro business, or they just don't know. They know they want to be in the industry, but they're just trying to see what part of the industry best suits them. So do they want to run a grow? Do they want to work in a grow? Do they want to do they just want to be trimmers, or do they want to actually work in a dispensary and patients, or do they just want to work in a lab and learn how to process and extract the different properties from the cannabis plants? So we have quite a few of those students as well, and those are the students I really like because they really show like, yo, I need to know as much as I possibly can.
Yeah. And once they finish one of these courses, you said, do they get a certificate? Do they get some sort of...
Yep. So they get a certificate of completion through our courses. We are a state proclamated school. We're positioning ourselves for the federal legalization right now. So
Fingers crossed on that.
We're positioning ourselves to where we can get one of those. They have a DEA research license. So we're trying to get one of those.
Yeah, that would be great. Talk to me about your success rate then in placing these students in actual jobs in the cannabis industry, or them starting their own businesses.
We graduated over 100 students so far. Only 10 of them really wanted to go out and work for someone. And those 10 have jobs. The other ones, we have one that actually started a CBD company. He started his own CBD company and he's doing quite well. He's selling some CBD gummies. We have another student. He manages a grow shop or a hydro store. We have other students who are just doing their own thing. Like they're growing, they built pole barns on their property, or they turned out their whole basement, or they went and bought a house and they just flipped the whole house and turned it into a growing house. So
wow,
we have more of those than anything. That would probably make up about, out of 100 and some students we have graduated, I would say about 70 to 75 of them just decided to just do their own growing.
Right.
I mean, like I said, about a good 10 are working within the industry for growing companies like Flower and House of Dank here in Michigan. So, yeah.
So you were able to raise some money, right, for this company. Tell me a little bit about the story behind that.
Man, okay. So, yeah. So my cousin sent me the link for the deadline for the pitch competition, right?
And it was a pitch competition sponsored by Merida Capital?
Sponsored by Merida Capital and MCBA. And it was I2 Accelerator program. And he sent me the link. I applied the day before the deadline, and then I was emailed by Connie, who I love the most. That woman that voted me through the whole way.
Who's Connie?
Connie, she works for Merida Capital.
Okay.
She's the analyst. And she literally walked me through the whole process, right? And lo and behold, they called me, told me I was a finalist. They asked if I wanted to pitch via Skype or in person in New York. I was fired April 22nd from Comcast. I was fired April 22nd from Comcast at 12:30 p.m. I'll never forget the date. And I was literally down to my last stretch of my savings, right? And I became a finalist. And me and my wife, I was like, look, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity for me to go to New York, pitch this business and win. I said, I feel like I would lose if I do it through Skype. It was 11:30 at night. We went and picked up her grandmother to watch the kids. And we just took off to New York that night on the 20th. The pitch competition was on September 22nd. And I won the room. And I just came in there, won the room. I made everybody get comfortable. Mitch, who's CEO, I made him loosen his tie up, kick his feet up. I said, man, just relax. I mean, everybody just seemed uptight to me. You know what I'm saying? Coming into New York, I'm like, man, y'all relax. Like, I'm from a slow city. All this extra little, we about to talk. You know what I'm saying? And I won that room, man. And I was one of 5 winners in that competition. I won $100,000.
That's amazing.
And it was crazy because when I drove to New York, man, I had just enough money for the hotel room and the gas to get there.
Wow.
I didn't have any money to get back. So
$100,000 came in handy.
Man, what I called everybody, man. I didn't call. I made a post and I told everybody the story, man. And everybody just got the chipping into my Cash App. And we had enough money to eat the next day and make it home, man. And boom, October, we got the money. November, we moved into our building. And ever since then, it's just been downhill from there, man. It's just been a smooth ride, rough, I'm like a few little bumps here and there, I'm saying, thanks to COVID. However, but that program literally helped me along the way. And Connie has been a great help. Mitch is awesome. The whole team over there at Merida Capital is really solid. Like they really, I'm saying, that competition was something. It taught me a lot about myself. It taught me that I do have something valuable. And it taught me not to give up. Like that really was a big confidence booster for me. And it's why if it wasn't for that competition, I probably wouldn't have did this school, to be honest with you. So there's that, because that's amazing. That first $100,000 really helped me because I was able to match it,
help you get home. Help you get home in your car, for sure.
Home, it helped me, like I said, it helped me with everything, man. Get the school started off the ground. It was dope. It was a dope experience, man. So love those guys. Love those guys.
That's amazing. So I'm in California, and the illicit market here is obviously very thriving, right? Like the black market. And the people who are in the legal market always complaining about the illicit market because it cuts into their business. They also make bad products. Do you talk to your students about the dangers of the illicit market? And is that something that you guys deal with in your curriculum?
That's probably one of the biggest things that I express, understanding. I mean, if we're being honest here, the black market is going to always be here. That's just what it is. But I encourage my students to go the clean route, how to go into the cleaner, sectors, and understanding the bad things that are out here and why the legal market is what it is and why I appreciate it, especially here in Michigan, because Michigan has some of the toughest laws, and not toughest laws, but like some of the toughest testing facilities, if you will, around testing. Like they don't let a lot of things make it past testing.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest companies have failed testing. So they don't play here in Michigan.
Yeah.
And I am for that because I tell my students, if we're going to call this medicine, let's treat it like medicine. I can't do nails in my house without a license. I can't cut hair without a license, really, if I'm doing it on a commercial scale. And if I wanted to sell anything prescribed as medicine or called medicine, I have to have some form of a license to sell it.
Yep.
So I truly stand by that. I truly believe in that. And there are some skilled people that just don't have the avenue to transition. And that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
So we have some very talented growers that are in these basements. And one of my goals is to communicate effectively with them and encourage them and show them how to come out of that basement and into a commercial environment, to where now they don't have to look over their shoulders. Now they can have just a clean revenue.
Yeah. Tell me a little bit about your background. How did you discover the cannabis industry? You mentioned this story about you seeing a friend of yours, but are you a cannabis user? Have you used it in your life? And then how did you decide that you wanted to actually get into the business of instructing others who don't have the same advantages as other people into getting into the cannabis industry?
Yeah, I mean, my journey to cannabis is almost similar to a lot of people that you will hear. I mean, started smoking young, you hanging out with your cousins or your friends, and, someone comes off with some good old regos, what we call them, a Reggie weed, and, we hiding behind the school smoking. And then, I played football, so I really didn't smoke too much, but, I smoked here and there. It took the edge off. And then around 20, my junior year in college, I discovered my heart issue, couldn't play football anymore, and I have an irregular heart. It's 10 times more likely to have a stroke if I kept playing. So it was either a pacemaker or sit down. And even with a pacemaker, if I get one bad hit, I'm done for life. So I chose my life with football.
Yeah.
And I went back home. I came back home to Michigan. Then I got back on a plane to LA, where I graduated high school in my first 2 years of college. And I went to the LA Film School to be audio engineer.
Oh, cool.
So I ran a studio, small studio, and then me and my dad had our differences, and then we shut the studio down. He ended up turning the studio into a grow room.
That's crazy.
And so then I used to just come in there and I help him out with that or whatever. And then that's when I got my first real introduction to the cultivation side of cannabis. I've never seen the plant grow. I used to smoke it. I've never seen the process of it growing until that day.
Were you interested in it? Were you fascinated with the whole process?
Oh, I was.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is nice. Then the aroma and watching how fast they grow, and then you see the buds forming. And I was just like, yo, this is dope.
Mm-hmm.
And
Literally.
my dad was doing it for money. My dad would tell you the story. He like, man, you took it way further than where I was even thinking. Because where he saw like, oh, this was just an extra bit of money after his retirement from the NFL. I saw it as, this can be like dope ass business, Pops. Let's take this even further. But he was stuck in his ways at the time. And I ended up leaving, going back home to Michigan, trying to do what I was trying to get my dad to do. And we ended up doing our thing. And I took it further. I got to studying the medicinal purposes of it. And, understand. I tried trying different things. I started making teas with it. So I would mix like certain indicas with chamomile and lavender at night. And I'll mix a sativa, like a Durban poison or something like that, with a citrus tea in the morning or a peppermint tea in the morning, or wake you up. So these are things that I started experimenting with in my early 20s. And then it went on to becoming a caregiver, and it went on to becoming a consultant. Then it went on to starting a school. So I did all of that between 2013 up to 2019.
So wait, you did say one thing I got to follow up. Your dad was in the NFL? Did not know that.
Yeah. My dad played 10 years in the NFL.
What was your dad's name?
Sam Rogers. I'm a junior.
You're the junior.
Sam Rogers, yep.
What teams did he play for?
He played for the Buffalo Bills for 9 years. 8 years with the Buffalo Bills. 1 year with the San Diego Chargers, and then his final year with the Atlanta Falcons.
So I've interviewed some former NFL players, and they certainly, they might not always be public about it, and you certainly don't have to out your father here, but I know that it helps a lot with the pain, right? Especially as an alternative to opioids.
One thing is, my dad do not smoke. My dad
That's
do not
so
smoke
interesting.
or drink, but he was big on growing.
Yeah.
Right? Just grew because he's seeing the money. That's why he saw it. The money. Like,
right.
How do I, continue to make money post-retirement, you know? And that was his lane, just the money side of things. And now he's starting to understand the business side of things, and he's going to be one of my test patients for one of the formulas that we're working out for CTE. We're doing something for CTE, dementia, and Alzheimer's. And then we're also working on something for pain when it comes to professional athletes, focusing on football players. Because, that was just the lane that I was in, and that's where I have most of my athletic life too, is with football players.
Does your dad know, and do you know people that are suffering from that? I know that's a big issue in the NFL.
Yeah, big time. Big time. Yeah, my dad was one. He was having these real bad outbreaks at one point in time. He became very forgetful. He played linebacker, so he had a lot of a
lot of hits.
Head contact. So one of my mentors, Lamont Warren, Isaac Bruce, made it out perfectly fine. He was just inducted into the Hall of Fame this past weekend. That's where I was at in Canton. So I have some ties, but I also know a lot of people who suffered. One of my close friends that I grew up with, Titus Young, he's from LA. We played against each other in high school and became good friends. I know he suffered greatly.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah, maybe.
So we're working hard on, me, a couple doctors and a couple herbalists are working to create some formulas using mushrooms and cannabis combined with other herbs.
So how many people have gone through your school? I know that the COVID kind of slowed things down, but
actually, it slowed us down, but we actually ended up having, as of this past July 27th was our last graduating class. And we had 100. We are at the 111 mark right now.
That's amazing.
So
that is amazing. And what an opportunity you're offering. And most of your students are from low-income households. I mean, is there?
Yeah, a lot of them are, which is why we offer payment plans. But then we also I've had nurses come through my course. I've had doctors take my course. I've had a lawyer take my course. I've had real estate agents take my course. So the beauty of the school and what I've seen is the mix and the different people on different paths and walks in life, literally taking this course. And I put it into a place that sits at the center of the county here, which is Pontiac, Michigan. And I literally drew traffic from all these different areas in Michigan. And it was like, yo, this is seeing how my students interact with each other is pretty dope. Like, I have one of my students, he actually moved from New York to take the class,
Wow.
and he decided to stay here. Luckily, his cousin lives here. So he saw our school and he moved in with his cousin to come and take this course. And he ended up linking up with one of my other students. Now, my other two students, they're an elderly couple. They're about 70 some years old, maybe. And these two, this 70 some year old couple and this 20 some year old kid, came together, and now they're doing a commercial grow together. Like, just stuff like those type of connections coming together is like,
Yeah.
who would have thought that that would have been the match?
That's amazing.
So it's pretty cool seeing
Yeah.
that.
It must
that really warms my
it
heart.
must make you feel, yeah, good about,
Man, my military veterans that take the course, like, oh my God, I love them. They come in, and most of them have never tried Durban poison a day in their life, and they're going through their PTSD, and they get a hold of some Durban poison that we have, and then all of a sudden they're like, I have never been this clear-headed, this calm, this peaceful through the day ever.
wow.
Like, and it's like just seeing their interactions is like, man, this is
It's more than just a business. Yeah. You're really helping
more than
people.
just the business. And it's like, I literally just had a message from one of my guys today, and military guys, and they love it. They love it. I love them. I appreciate them coming through, and they really put it all into perspective of what I'm doing and why I have to keep doing what I'm doing, because I'm not just touching just one demographic of people. I am reaching a lot of people, and I'm doing it all pretty much with little to no marketing. It's been a lot of word of mouth. Like,
Yeah.
and
Hopefully this podcast will get the word out there.
oh man, yeah, definitely.
Tell me a little bit about social equity, because we hear that mentioned a lot in the cannabis industry. A lot of states, I don't know about Michigan, but a lot of states offer that for people with prior cannabis convictions. Do you guys offer a course in helping people who might have that opportunity in seeing that through?
Yes. So actually, we have social equity here in Michigan, and we also offer business development program. It's not necessarily a full course, but it's something they can actually get through us. And we walk through. I have a group of lawyers. I have an accountant, and we actually help them with the application process. We tell them, like, you have to start it, print out the checklist. And so as they print out the checklist, Michigan gives you a checklist of everything that you need for the social equity program and the licensing fees and all of that jazz, right? So they print out, they fill out the application, they get the first step back done. They get the first step done. That's easy. And then after that, we walk them through the checklist, making
Yeah.
sure that they hit every box. And so then boom, we help them organize their packets before they send them into the state. And that's that. We definitely do offer that, the business development program. I'm going to be starting an incubator program soon. I have a meeting with our city council and as well again. We're starting our incubator programs where we're going to be taking a 70,000 some square foot building, and we're going to house an X amount of 100 plant grow licenses and an X amount of 500 plant grow licenses for social equity applicants. And it will be completely outfitted. They just have to bring their licenses in, and they don't pay rent. It will be like a profit sharing lease agreement type of deal, and they can stay there as long as they want, or once they make enough money, they can go off and get their own facility. So yeah, that's something that we're building here. So yeah,
That's
doing quite a
exciting.
bit of, what I'm saying, on the quiet end. I'm one of the people that like to just do it, and then people see it like, what the hell Sammy them did now? So that's me. So like when I did the school, nobody knew I was doing the school until I brought Styles P here to Pontiac, and we had our ribbon cutting event. Like that was about it.
It
So
seems like something that more people should know about. Tell me, if people want to find out, want to enroll in your school, what is a website they should go to? Where should they follow you, et cetera?
definitely, anyone interested, they can find us at www.yourhigherlearning.com, and that's YOURHIGHER learning. Everything spelled correctly. On Instagram at Your Higher Learning. On Facebook at Your Higher Learning. So yeah, those are the main ones we are. We also have Twitter, but I don't really use it as much. I just hired an assistant, so they're going to be taking over all the social media for me. I'm not really good at posting a lot of stuff.
Right.
I like to post like funny stuff and jokes and a little bit of serious stuff here and there. I typically use social media for laughter, me personally.
I love it.
Everybody says I'm such a serious person, so for me, social media, I get a little get some good giggles out of my day through social media. So my assistant, he's going to be taking over all of my social media. Yeah, they can always email our school website or our school email address at info@yourhigherlearning.com. So
That's awesome.
yeah. Those are the best ways of this.
Sammie, this is such a great story. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Hey man, I appreciate you guys having me, Jonathan. Like seriously, like this was big. Like when they called me and asked me if I would do, I said, would I? Yes.
All right, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
And again, Jonathan, man, thanks for having me.
Enhance Your Life is brought to you by Wana, the #1 infused product in North America. Wana's entire process is designed to deliver the same great experience time after time. They have spent years fine-tuning their recipes so that their products are delicious, consistent, and potent. For more information, head on over to wanabrands.com. That's Wana, W-A-N-A, brands.com.